What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is August 18th of 2017. So as you all know, if you watch my channel, you probably understand that I like to stay a little bit ahead of the game and use a mix of technical and fundamental analysis to really pick out some cheap coins for the coming month. And as of now, we're looking towards the month of September. If we look at current market standards, Bitcoin has been rallying, which has really killed the altcoin scene and has kept a lot of people from really making a lot of profits. That being said, have no fear for those of you who are positive on the altcoin market. This month is looking to be a comeback month for a lot of the old leaders in the market and a lot of the new players in the ICO market as well. So, what are those winners going to be in my mind? Well, I got a great list of the top 5 coins that I'm optimistic on, and many of which I'm holding myself. So, let's not wait any further and let's jump right into them. So we can see right here on the screen, you probably saw it right off the bat, NEO is one of my biggest candidates. I've been talking about it all the time on my channel, and I think you've probably heard about it in the media everywhere in the cryptocurrency sphere as well. We can see that this has been on an absolute run and has started to dominate the cryptocurrency market, almost with a valuation of $2 billion. This actually passed Litecoin not too long ago, this past week, when it reached its peak valuation. There's a lot of optimism around NEO, and a lot of people have coined it with the term the Chinese Aetherium. So I think that it really could become one of the next big coins and take one of the top 5 spots. It's one of my good long-term plays. And we can see here on the technical chart, this is looking fantastic. Now, a lot of you might be saying, well, Nick, it's pulling back right now. That's a good thing. Because for a while, I was thinking that this was just going to keep on pressing towards new highs, or at least testing the same level. And that's not healthy for NEO. That shows that there's too much over-the-top hype around it. But we saw, and we're seeing it right now, a nice, decent pullback in NEO. It's something that's going to happen, guys. It's a simple fundamental of technical analysis. And we can see that NEO is having a nice little pullback. And I think we're going to get support around here at the 750,000 Satoshi level. I think it's a very fair point to see this drop to. And we can see that the 21-day moving average, which is also another bullish indicator you guys can use if you want to do a little bit of technical analysis, is a great way to tell if the momentum's still there and if it's holding the majority of its gains. And I think that's going to slowly curve up and find support along the level at 750,000 Satoshis. And then after that, that'd be a great point to buy. So probably buy a little bit above 750,000 Satoshis if you want my opinion, but you trade as you will. And I think that NEO is a really good candidate. Probably one of my favorites for the long term. Next up, we have Litecoin. Now, I know I probably railed a little bit on Litecoin saying NEO was passing it, but I still love Litecoin. Litecoin has been kind of on a pullback for the past few months comparative to Bitcoin. And we can see that it's definitely looking for that next big breakout if we look in the sense of market cap. If we take away the Bitcoin price, we can see that it's still pretty much tethering towards its highs on its valuation. And I think it's trying to break out against this resistance we saw back in December of 2013. So Litecoin's really trying to have its big breakout here. And I think that it could get that, especially seeing as its Bitcoin comparison is so low. And we found support exactly where I've been saying it, folks. If you watch my channel, I've been saying that Litecoin was going to probably come down here to this level. And it looks like it found support around here on the 200 daily moving average. So it's extremely cheap comparative to Bitcoin. And I think that we could see it retest these highs, meaning we could almost have 100% return over the next month or so. So I think that you could see a lot of those gains in the coming month in September. And I think it's a great candidate on both the fundamental and technical standpoint. So definitely keep an eye on Litecoin. Next up, we got another big giant. I want to cover and talk about Ripple. Now, you all have probably seen Ripple's chart and seen that it's just been utterly decimated over the past few months since the altcoin bubble popped back in May and June. And we can see that the volume is still remaining pretty strong in this one. But I got to say, folks, there's going to be some love coming back to this one, in my opinion. If you look at the chart here, I think the selling is slowly starting to stop off. We can see that it's starting to curve here and find support generally in this area that used to be resistance right here. We can see that the price level used to be resistance here. And I think if we curve back up, we can start to see some optimism coming into this one. I think Ripple is a very well adopted candidate in the cryptocurrency sphere. And I think that it's got the price action right here that's slowly starting to slow down on the sell side and get some more buyers. Not to mention it's just fundamentally cheap at these levels. There's really no arguing about it. Ripple was originally sitting at a market cap at its peak around 15 to 16 billion and is now down to 6 billion. It's still one of the leaders, folks, and it's being adopted massively by banks around the world. So definitely keep an eye on Ripple, another one of my long-term favorites. Then we've got TenX. Now we're stepping into the ICO craze. But I gotta say, TenX is actually one of the few ICOs that I honestly don't think is overvalued at this point. And I did a video covering on TenX. And it's gonna be one of my long-term holdings in my portfolio. And there's a reason, because TenX is bringing cryptocurrency to the physical world. It's bringing it to brick and mortar. It's bringing it to physical transactions. And I think that TenX is going to be an absolute winner. That being said, if we look at it on a technical standpoint, the price action, again, much like NEO, is having a phenomenal pullback. This is exactly what I was expecting and why I didn't get over exuberant and try to chase the highs. I said, let's wait for a pullback and we can ride out the next bull run. And look at that, the 21 daily moving average is coming up and it's looking to get support around this level where it's slowly starting to curve down. I think that TenX is an awesome buy anywhere around 80,000 Satoshis, which we're approaching. And if you have to pay a little bit more, no big deal in my opinion. I think that you're getting it at a good discount because it was just up at 175,000 Satoshis. This is easily a 100% return if we can get back up to those levels, and I think we can. TenX is not only does it have a functioning product, but it's absolutely phenomenal in the sense of adoption. A lot of people are getting excited about it. People are requesting the card to be sent to them, and they want to start using TenX with their cryptocurrency. So definitely keep an eye on this one. I think this is going to get a lot of media coverage and a lot of adoption over the coming months as cryptocurrencies continue to grow. And last but not least, a small ICO that I want to talk about that I have recently done a video on is Lunar. Now this one is kind of, I think in my opinion, an underrated ICO. I've been watching this one ever since it exploded a few days ago, and I think that its volume comparative to its market cap really speaks, no pun intended, I think it speaks volume. I think that there is a very limited supply with this coin, and that's a big selling point. Usually very limited supply coins get a lot of optimism around them. And it's understandable why each token would be around $15.40. This is an ERC20 token, and basically what Lunar's trying to do, if you don't want to go out and watch my video, is it's trying to be Wikipedia on the blockchain. And they have a lot of ways that they want to make the token valuable. I recommend going to check out the video if you're curious about that, but I'm very optimistic about this one. And I think that it's had a nice pullback from its highs. We saw a jump to pretty much around $60 million in market cap, and it was a nice 50% pullback on it. And if we see here, we can see it even more clearly on the chart. We see this kind of blow-up pattern here. We had an absolute rally in Lunar where a lot of volume poured in and hasn't sold off really. A lot of it's been holding on. You can tell that simply because the daily candles don't show it. It shows that the people who bought into this are holding it, and that is a very optimistic sign. It's one thing if a coin gets a lot of volume to pump up and then of course it all just sells off. It's another thing when that volume props into it and then it stays there. It doesn't go to the sell side. And you can obviously see we haven't seen that volume on the sell side when it pulled back. So it shows that the optimism is still in here, the money's staying in it, and it looks like it's going to continue to curve back up towards new highs. That's my opinion on Lunar. But I'd love to hear what you all think about all these coins. And if there's any coins you're optimistic about, leave them down in the comments below and let's start a discussion, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you could, please drop a like and subscribe to stay tuned to the channel. But until the next video, I will see you all later. Take care.